The heat was intense, and the red glare grew every instant more fierce. The policemen stood awed with the novel sight. Then black figures, holding strange shaped bucket shovels, came athwart the deep red furnace light, and clear and brilliant flowed forth the iron into the appropriate mould. The buzz of voices rose again. There was time to speak, and gasp, and wipe the brows, and then one by one the men dispersed to some other branch of their employment. Number B-72 pointed out Jem as the man he had seen engaged in a scuffle with Mr. Carson, and then the other two stepped forward and arrested him, stating of what he was accused, and the grounds of the accusation. He offered no resistance, though he seemed surprised, but calling a fellow workman to him, he briefly requested him to tell his mother he had got into trouble, and could not return home at present. He did not wish her to hear more at first. So Mrs. Wilson's sleep was next interrupted in almost an exactly similar way to the last, like a recurring nightmare. Mrs., someone called out from below. Again it was a workman, but this time a blacker-looking one than before. "What do you want?" she said, peevishly. "Only nothing but—" stammered the man, a kind-hearted, matter-of-fact person, with no invention, but a great deal of sympathy. "Well, speak out, can't ye, and ha' done with it? Jem's in trouble," said he, repeating Jem's very words, as he could think of no others. "Trouble!" said the mother, in a high-pitched voice of distress. "Trouble! God help me, trouble will never end, I think. What do you mean by trouble? Speak out, man, can't you? Is he ill? My boy, tell me, is he ill?" in a hurried voice of terror. "Na, that's not it. He's well enough. All he bade me say was, tell mother I'm in trouble, and I can't come home to-night." "Not come home to-night! And what am I to do with Alice? I can't go on wearing my life out with watching. He might come home and help me." "I tell you he can't," said the man. "Can't! And he is well, you say? Stuff! It's just that he's gettin' like other young men, and wants to go a-larking. But I'll give it to him when he gets back." The man turned to go. He durst not trust himself to speak in Jem's justification. But she would not let him off. She stood between him and the door, as she said, "You shall not go till you've told me what he's after. I can see plain enough you know, and I'll know too before I've done." "You'll know soon enough, missus." "I'll know now, I tell you. What's up that he can't come home and help me nurse? Me as never got a wink o' sleep last night with watching." "Well, if you will have it out," said the poor badgered man, "the police have got a hold on him." "On my Jem!" said the enraged mother. "You're a downright liar, and that's what you are. My Jem as never did harm to any one in his life. You're a liar, that's what you are." "He's done harm enough now," said the man, angry in his turn, "for there's good evidence he murdered young Carson as was shot last night." She staggered forward to strike the man for telling the terrible truth, but the weakness of old age, of motherly agony, overcame her, and she sank down on a chair and covered her face. He could not leave her. When next she spoke, it was in an imploring, feeble, childlike voice. "Oh, master, say you're only joking. I ax your pardon if I have vexed you, but please say you're only joking. You don't know what Jem is to me." She looked humbly, anxiously up to him. "I wish I were only joking, missus, but it's as true as I say. They've taken him up on the charge of murder. It were his gun as found near the place, and one of the police heard him quarrelling with Mr. Carson a few days back, about a girl." "About a girl!" broke in the mother, once more indignant, though too feeble to show it as before. "My Jem was as steady as—" She hesitated for a comparison wherewith to finish, and then repeated, "as steady as Lucifer, and he were an angel, you know. My Jem was not one to quarrel about a girl." "Ay, but it was that, though. They'd got her name quite pat. The man had heard all they said. Mary Barton was her name, whoever she may be." "Mary Barton, the dirty hussy! To bring my Jem into trouble of this kind. I'll give it her well when I see her, that I will. Oh, my poor Jem!" rocking herself to and fro. "And what about the gun? What did you say about that?" "His gun were found on the spot where the murder were done." "That's a lie, for one, then. A man has got the gun now, safe and sound. I saw it not an hour ago." The man shook his head. "Yes, he has indeed. A friend of Jem's as he'd lent it to." "Do you know the chap?" asked the man, who was really anxious for Jem's exculpation, and caught a gleam of hope from her last speech. "No, I can't say as I did. But he were put on as a workman." "It's maybe only one of them policemen, disguised." "Nay, they'd never go for to do that, and trick me into telling on my own son. It would be like seething a kid in its mother's milk, and that the Bible forbids." "I don't know," replied the man. Soon afterwards he went away, feeling unable to comfort, yet distressed at the sight of sorrow. She would fain have detained him, but go he would. And she was alone. She never for an instant believed Jem guilty; she would have doubted if the sun were fire, first; but sorrow, desolation, and at times anger, took possession of her mind. She told the unconscious Alice, hoping to rouse her to sympathy, and then was disappointed, because, still smiling and calm, she murmured of her mother, and the happy days of infancy. CHAPTER XX.